Thank you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. I'm Audrey Kane. Today we'll be talking about the area workforce, real estate, and getting involved in community. Cape Chamber Vice President Kim Volker is here to talk about workforce development in our region, and Realtor Jared Ritter will stop by to tell you what you need to know before buying your next home. And City of Cape Girardeau Public Information Officer Nicolette Brennan is here to talk about how to get involved in your community. That's all ahead on Cape Chronicle.
I've been delivering Meals on Wheels to Leon for 13 years.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
Leon has definitely inspired me to put more into my relationships. He really cared for his wife, who was ailing for quite a while, in such a touching way that inspired me to be a better person.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
This is Cape Chronicle, and I'm Audrey Kane. We are joined by Cape Chamber Vice President Kim Volker, here to talk with us about workforce development. Kim, thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me.
There are so many businesses in the area that I know that you all have spoken with that have certain kinds of issues regarding their staffing. Tell us what those might be.
Well, as you can imagine, we are very immersed in the business community. We work with a lot of the businesses, and so a few of the things that we have heard repeatedly, one of them being the lack of soft skills, if you will, being able to show up on time for work, being able to make eye contact, to communicate effectively. Little things like that are things that employers are really looking for and finding a lack in right now.
And that probably includes things like interpersonal communication,
Absolutely.
being professional in that. So what is a program that you all are developing to help them with that?
So because we kept hearing this, there's a lack of the soft skills, we came up with a program called Capable. Mm-hmm. It's an essential skills for work and life. And so Capable, I know we talked and asked if that was a play on words. Really, it's not, but it is. Being capable means a lot of things. And so within the Essential Skills campaign, each month we focus on a key initiative or a key skill. So one month it might be teamwork or dependability or innovation, creative thinking, things like that. So those are things that we're focusing on. And so we built out an entire program for 12 months, focusing on one skill each month, and then pushing that out through our school systems, our business community. We have graphics designed. Everything's ready to go and packaged up on our website for those businesses to push that out.
And so that's available for chamber members?
Anyone. Not just chamber members, because it is on our website. So if it's not a chamber member, we won't tell you can't use it. We would love to see, we have a hashtag capable, and so we would love to start seeing that out. There are some that are using it, and we've seen it on Facebook. They've been using the hashtag or other platforms, and so that's our goal, is to start pushing that out, and we'll have 12 new initiatives that'll start after the school year ends.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that it was available to any business. All they have to do is go to your website. And I visited your website prior to this interview because I wanted to see what kinds of things the Cape Regional Chamber was offering. And there are quite a few other programs. There's a mentoring program as well, right?
Well, it's job shadowing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Connect Cape. So that is something we started. We launched that with the university, partnership with the university a few semesters ago, and then we expanded it to the high school level because our local high school wanted to have their seniors involved. And honestly, the younger you can start kids thinking about a career path and at least maybe trying to test the waters and see if it's something that they have an interest in or maybe they don't. And so we launched Connect Cape, which is a job shadowing program. And we have matched to date probably close to 100 students with job shadowing opportunities within our community.
And so what do they do? Is there a requirement, I guess I would say, for the business person that they're going to shadow? Is there a requirement for that? Do they have to have a certain type of business?
No, so what we've done is we've done a very thorough job of on the front end taking applications from our students, finding out what their interests are, their fields of study, as well as matching those with our businesses on the back side to determine what fields or what they want to go into, their course of study. And we try to match them based on that. And so we ask the businesses that it's not something they have to give them a hands-on, it's more of an observation. So 2 4-hour sessions, and that's all. That's all we ask of the business. So it's easy for them, it's easy for the student, and hopefully an experience that they can at least have some takeaways from to decide, yes, I'm right, this is exactly where I want to be, or oh my goodness, this is not where I want. This is not the path I want to go in at all.
This isn't nearly as glamorous as I thought it was going to be.
And that's happened. So.
Okay. So with those businesses that have taken on this experience, what kind of feedback are you getting from them?
Wonderful feedback.
Really?
And so when we did it with the university students last spring semester, we had 100% of our businesses say, absolutely, we'd do it again. We would love to host more students. And so right now we're working with the university to match some students. We have from March 1st to March 31st, those students are able to set their own schedule with the businesses. So we make the connection, we introduce them via email, and then pretty much put the ball in their court.
And how are they getting the information that this is even available to them?
So we are partnered, like I said, with universities. So Dan Presson with the Career Services Department is helping us push that information out to the student body. And we are focusing on underclassmen, so freshmen, sophomores coming in. Like I said, the sooner you can get them thinking, if they aren't already on a path, or at least let them see some, it's not really hands-on experience, but at least real world,
right,
where they get in and see it happening.
Well, and sometimes they're not doing an internship until their senior year. Right. And by then, it's too late to change your major. You could, but whoever's supporting you or your finances are going to hurt from it.
Your parents might not be so excited about that. But and it's another thing too. We as a community, and we've talked about this as a chamber, we have to do it. It's a fine line. Some students are not cut out for a 4-year university, and a lot of times this is what determines that. Depending on what job field they're going into, if they have to have a 4-year degree, this may be, the defining factor for them.
Okay, well, that's exciting to hear, and I know that there are probably not just students, but parents and teachers that are finding out about this. And it's, when you said it's also through the local high school, or you're referring to Cape Central?
Cape Central, and we have some others that have expressed interest in participating as well.
Okay, so contacting the chamber about getting involved in this is the best way for them to do that.
So what we've done is since we've expanded the program to the high school, we've reserved the fall semester for high school students and then the spring semester for the university, which works out better for them as well in the springtime. So it's strategically planned March 1st to 31st so that it's over spring break. So those that are staying behind and not going to those tropical places or home can try to get their job shadowing done during that time frame.
Okay. And then I know that there was one more thing we talked about that you wanted to cover while you were here today.
So the governor, Mike Parson, obviously the state governor, has pushed out some initiatives as well, working on workforce development, Best in the Midwest, and Talent for Tomorrow. Those are some initiatives and strategies that they have in place to just revamp the whole Department of Economic Development and Workforce Development.
Okay. And so do you have, in your offices, do you have more information on those policies?
We do. And actually they have a website. You can just go, I don't know the website off the top of my head, but if you Google Best in the Midwest or Talent for Tomorrow, you will find a lot of information there and what their strategies are.
Okay. And then, of course, they can always get a hold of you for more information about the Capable program, but the website is a fantastic resource for people.
Right.
And how long has it been since you revamped it? Because I hadn't looked at it in a while.
It's been a few years. So we've rebranded in the last few years and redone our website and everything. And so Capable, like you said, it's out there. Everything's there to download. She even has all the social media posts there created. You can just use what we have.
Well, it looks
and
fantastic.
Graphics, everything. Yes.
It looks fantastic. There's also a lot more information about events that you all have and what the services that the chamber offers to local businesses and to the community. Kim, thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Just so much fantastic information, and really surprising that you all offer such great services, not just for businesses to promote their business, but to help grow their staff as well. So thanks so much for coming in. We've been talking today with Cape Chamber Vice President Kim Volker, and thank you for your time. Coming up is Jared Ritter to answer all of your real estate questions. Stay with us.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Audra Kane. Realtor Jared Ritter is not only well known for his flashy blazers, but also is an active volunteer, and he's here to tell us what you need to know before buying that next house. Thanks for coming by, Jared.
Of course, I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad that you're here. All right, so we've known each other for a number of years.
Yes.
Actually took some classes together at SEMO. That's why I'm smiling, because we've been friends for a while. And
Absolutely.
The minute I saw you start with these blazers, I thought, oh, he's going to get attention.
That's right.
He's going to get a lot of attention. So we'll talk about that in a sec. So we'll get back to that.
Of course.
You are a real estate agent here
Yes, ma'am.
in the Cape Girardeau area. And so we'll start off with, what are some of the key things that new home buyers or people who are buying a home that's new to them in 2019 really need to know?
Yeah, I think, the big thing is just learning the process itself. And that's what I love. Being a former educator, it's pretty cool to constantly be teaching people about the process and what they need to do in order to buy a house. And to be honest with you, a lot of buyers come to me not pre-approved, or maybe don't even know what that process looks like or where to start. So it's almost guiding them in the right direction from the very, very beginning with what I do as a realtor. So definitely think that first step of finding a bank or a mortgage lender to start the pre-approval process and just get on the ground running to know where you're at, what amount you should be looking for, how much money is it going to be down, what loan package, all that kind of fun stuff right at the beginning to know where you're at. So.
I think a lot of people probably come to you a little bit scared because if they've never bought before.
It's a big deal. It's a large purchase. It's exciting. Maybe starting that family, wanting the first home. So a lot of emotions can be going on. So sometimes we put on our realtor hat or our therapist hat, or we play a lot of fun roles to help people get through their process.
Yeah, that would be me. I would need you to put the therapist hat on. So I mentioned this to you before we talked about, because the very first step is knowing what you're capable of buying, I guess.
Absolutely.
And so you get them to the bank. And so then after that first step, step of
Yes.
knowing what their budget can be and
Right.
getting their financing secured. Then what comes next?
Right. So if they're a brand new buyer or a repeat buyer, whatever it is, once they have that pre-approval in hand, I tell people that's the golden ticket. We can start doing whatever we want. No, I'm just kidding. So that gives me as a realtor and obviously them a really good idea of what we want to look for. And then I'm gathering their preferences. How many bedrooms do we need? Bathrooms. How much square footage you think is best for you? Area, school district. We go over everything. And that really allows me to dial down the search to find out what are they looking for. And here's 8 to 10 or however many we think can work for them in their price range, since we have that from the lender. And it's a big team thing that we can go through together. So I love it.
Well, I'm sure you probably run into those conflicts of these home buyers come in pairs a lot of the time, and
absolutely.
one wants one thing, and one wants one wants a man cave,
Just like
and one
HGTV,
wants
right?
yes, just like HGTV. I want a game room. Well, I want a garage.
Yeah.
And so those compromises
Yes.
require your therapist hat. What are some other kind of setbacks that you run into that you kind of have to walk them through in the search process?
Right. Well, I will say those are the sweet moments, is finding that house that both of them like. And sometimes once I start seeing some, and even if they're like, well, we don't know about that one, I was encouraged to look, because even if you don't think it's for you, it might be different in pictures, or it gives you just a perfect comparison for the next one we look at. It's like, you remember the first house we looked at, even though maybe that was a little bit of a downer, or, oh man, we thought the rooms are going to be bigger, or feel more spacious. I always encourage people, don't let them get down about that, because it could be the perfect comparable to check out for price, the area, for the next one we look at. And, I can send them comps all day long, but if we're seeing those in person, for the next house they fall in love with, that's going to mean so much more to get over that.
Sometimes seeing it in person is a
Yes.
whole lot different than the pictures that you
Right.
see. So
Especially in the age of the internet, because open houses, that used to be the thing. Agent tours, that used to be the thing. But now people can judge so easily off pictures that they sometimes even do that too much, instead of, hey, let's get inside the house, let's visit the open houses, and just get in there and really see what it's like.
Well, and you say the age of the internet, a lot of people I think that they can go it alone without the help from someone like you.
Right.
So what is the biggest advantage to having a realtor walking you through the process?
Great question. And we see that sometimes with for sale by owner and Zillow and all these different things. And kind of going back to the whole process in general is a lot more than people think it can be. It's a full-time job, and maybe ask a for sale by owner person who's tried it and maybe didn't go so well, they'll realize it was a full-time job, and they obviously have other things they're doing. They have their own job, and they need somebody like me, a realtor, to take care of it. And so you can talk about the process and the time and all that thing, but obviously the big thing in people's minds is their pocketbook. And what we see, sadly enough sometimes, is people will sell a house for sale by owner and lose thousands of dollars because they didn't have someone that was like a price strategist, like a realtor would be for you, and that has the knowledge, has the research, has sold multiple houses to know what they're getting themselves into in that area, whatever it is. And they may have sold that house by themselves really good for $120,000, when if they would have went to a realtor, even though they had to pay the commission that they're so worried about, they would have maybe sold it for $150,000. And that's a big, big deal.
It is. All right, so you draw a lot of attention with the blazers.
Yes, of course.
Knowing your effervescent personality, I don't know that you necessarily need the blazer, but has it helped draw attention to your business?
It has. I even met with a seller yesterday, and he told me the only reason he called me was because of the blazers.
Really?
He saw me at Barista's in the coffee shop, walked by, had no idea who I was, and he said that just drew me. It stands out. And there's a tension there. And I was reading a book when I first started, and there's over 350 licensed realtors in good old Southeast Missouri alone, and that's a lot. And I was thinking, young guy, fresh in the market, how in the world am I going to stand out? I was reading a book about that, and that's when I decided I just ordered a charcoal blazer. I was like, it's going to be so slick. It's going to look good. I'm excited. I was like, Jared, you're an idiot. I started thinking, it's like everybody wears a charcoal blazer, a navy blazer, and orange is my favorite color at the time, so I was like, I should have found an orange blazer. And then obviously I went to blue. It could be yellow, Pac-Man. Here we are today. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you mentioned a little bit earlier, and we have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you had spent some time teaching.
Yes.
And I knew where you were, but
yes.
Where were you for a couple of years?
So I was back in my home district where I graduated here in Cape Central. And I was at the Alternative Education Center, now Central Academy, for 2 years, 2 amazing years.
And I know that probably was a big growth process for you on learning how to step outside your comfort zone, but also kind of a service to the community.
Yes, it absolutely was. And, it was a hard decision to leave. I loved all my kids that I had. And, sometimes in that environment, it takes a little bit to build that trust and that relationship. And once you had it, you couldn't beat that. It was great. And I still carry some of those relationships on and with my coworkers, and that was a tough thing to leave. So, being able to serve on the school board now really filled that niche and still allows me to have that feeling of involvement and care with our students.
That's exciting. I didn't know you were serving on the school board. That's fantastic.
Yes.
See, this is where those small steps when you're younger kind of step you up into the responsibilities that so many in our community need people to be filling.
Absolutely. And I serve with a great board and superintendent. We're doing a lot of great things. So it just really fills my heart and takes that space over that I lost being a teacher.
Well, now that people know the man behind the blazer, I hope that you meet a lot more of them on the street and can help them out.
Well, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much for coming
It's been
by,
a
Jared.
pleasure.
It's always
Yes.
exciting to see you. We
Of
always have a
course.
great time when we're together.
That's right.
We've been chatting with Realtor Jared Ritter, and after the break, we'll hear from City of Cape Girardeau Public Information Officer Nicolette Brennan. That's next on Cape Chronicle.
Hi! Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Being a dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Right.
Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
At Southeast Missouri State, we've been launching the extraordinary careers of educators for nearly 150 years. But that's the thing about educators. They're always ready to learn more, discover new paths, and push themselves to the next level. With our new online educational leadership programs, you can earn the credentials needed to move up in your career. With flexibility for your schedule, accelerated courses, and an affordable price, together we can transform our learning communities and prepare you to conquer your goals.
This is Cape Chronicle, and I'm Audra Kane. We're joined now by City of Cape Girardeau Public Information Officer Nicolette Brennan. She's here to talk about getting involved in our community. Welcome, Nicolette.
Oh, why, thank you.
I don't know that I've ever had you on the show with me. Maybe once before.
I don't think I've ever actually been a guest. I don't remember. It's been a while.
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
You serve in an official capacity with this show, but I wanted today to talk with you about how people could get involved with the city in the community with something called Citizen Academy.
Yeah, that's something we're really proud of. Our mayor and city manager just started it last year, had our first cohort. We take a group of about 20 or so folks and we bring them to all of our different facilities, introduce them to all of our various officials, teach them about how their government works, let them ask questions, and they actually have a lot of fun too.
Well, I'm sure they probably got a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah.
I think that I may have done something similar to that. I know that I participated in the citizen police workforce experience, which is a little bit different and a little bit more intense.
Yes.
But on this tour, are they going to get to go and see the new police station?
Absolutely. They go to the police, parks, fire, public works. They go to all the major facilities. It's not as intense as the actual fire and police citizen experience type programs. So this one's a little bit more accessible to folks of all ages and physical abilities.
Yeah.
But they do learn a lot, and they get to have a lot of fun too. And yes, they see all throughout the facility.
Okay, well, good, because I want them to be prepared if they have to get on the ground and physically fight off a police
wrestling
officer.
in our program, but there's lots of fun.
Listen, it was a lot of fun. It just was really intense. So what would you say is probably the most important thing that someone needs to know or that they experience through the Citizen Academy?
Well, I think it's an eye-opening experience, and they get to meet all the humans, the people that do all the hard work behind the scenes, and then they know who to call if they just have a question or a suggestion, a pothole they want patched, or a policy they think ought to be updated, or just whatever they think might need to happen.
Exactly, because
how
often do they see someone like you that's working in the office? You see your garbage collector.
Yeah, you see the police,
all
you
the
see a fire
time.
truck
Yeah,
drive by.
police cars there. Firemen are out at community events and stuff, but the working staff isn't something that we always get an opportunity.
A lot of behind-the-scenes folks that they're very accessible to them.
So that's coming up in March.
Yes, starts
And
March 7th.
Do they sign up with you, or?
Yeah, there's they can visit our website, cityofcape.org/get involved. They can give me a call, 339-6391, and we can get them signed up for the next spring session or maybe the fall session, because we only have a few spots left.
Okay, cool. I know that I mentioned that you've not been on this show with me before, but you're always looking for topics because you are our producer. So you're the one looking for topics, and sometimes I can throw them out to you. And but if someone wanted to be on the program, you welcome that.
Yeah, absolutely. Same phone number. Google me, contact us, and if you have a topic idea or a specific person you'd love to see interview, we're totally open to ideas, because I think this is a great program to see the newsmakers behind the scenes in a sense. You see your school board people and other folks in the news in a quick soundbite, but this program you sit down for a few minutes and really kind of get to know those folks. So it could be a lot of fun. So yeah, we definitely welcome ideas.
Well, and we had a couple guests on today that people don't always necessarily get to see, and just because you voted for them for school board doesn't mean you know anything about them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's cool.
But they keep the train on the tracks, which is kind of nice to meet them.
I asked you this earlier. What maybe was one of your most memorable Cape Chronicle episodes? I said mine was when we interviewed the writers of the story behind the David Robinson.
That was great. That was a good one.
And you said you remembered a lot of funny ones or things that went awry.
That might be for the blooper reel, but we recently had Lee Ragsdale on, and I thought that was a wonderful interview. There's a lot of energy in that interview, and of course just a wonderful story about how people are putting their all into investing in that next generation for our community, which is just so exciting.
That's quite possibly the most shared episode I've ever had.
It might very well be.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for chatting with us today. Nicolette Brennan is the City of Cape Girardeau's Public Information Officer, and thank you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. The program is a collaboration between the Department of Mass Media at Southeast Missouri State University and the City of Cape Girardeau. Our producer is Nicolette Brennan. Our executive producer is Dr. Jim Dufek. Thanks for joining us. I'm Audra Kane.